from getting launched into the stratosphere to bones shattering on impact. These are the 10 biggest crash outs in bull riding history. At number 1, Chad Castillo paid the ultimate price during the 2002 championship round in Colorado Springs.
He's a bull that everybody used to just want to draw, but he's gotten a little more difficult to ride him.
It was the championship round showdown, one of the biggest stages in the sport. Castillo drew Millennium. Everything felt intense until reality hit harder than anyone expected. Within seconds of the gate opening, Castillo got yanked forward onto the bull's concrete hard skull. It wasn't just a collision, it was bone-shattering physics at work.
A little bit stronger and
I need a hug, somebody.
pulls him right down here. Wow. I think he hits his shoulder on his horn. He's only got one horn. Had a chance to run.
Millennium won that battle decisively, because let's face it, Castillo didn't just fall, he got systematically destroyed. His collarbone fractured instantly. The break was so severe that everyone in the venue could hear it crack. The damage required immediate medical attention. That's not a typical bull riding injury, that's championship level bone destruction. After the wreck, Castillo faced months of recovery time. The fracture was clean but devastating, the kind that reminds you why they call it the most dangerous 8 seconds in sports. Still, he never lost that competitive edge. That part of him stayed intact. When it happens, that's what separates the tough from the broken. Riders like him understand. That's why we're here, to be able to overcome it and keep going. His family wasn't shocked by his determination. They've seen this mentality before. Cowboys like Chad are special cases, they knew. These bull riders are tough and they want to bounce back and ride again. And if you think a wreck like that would make him consider retirement, quitting, never. Castillo's attitude represented. That's one thing I've never wanted to do, is quit. So no, he wasn't finished, not even close. Because the fact of the matter is that the heart of a real rider doesn't back down. It keeps chasing the 8 seconds. No matter how dangerous the crash out gets, walking away was never an option. The risk is part of it, and so is surviving to ride again. Taylor Toves at number 2 might have been even more brutal, literally.
Yeah, he only needs 84.5 to take the lead. He's got plenty of bull power here.
Toves had drawn Stretch for the championship round in Albuquerque, and that bull was no joke. Riders knew Stretch had some of the most methodical punishment techniques in the pen. Toves lasted 3.23 seconds before Stretch decided that simple buck-offs weren't satisfying enough. The bull had bigger plans involving extended suffering. Stretch got him hung up and proceeded to thrash him along like he was conducting a demolition project. Every twist brought fresh angles of punishment while the crowd watched in horror. The bullfighters worked frantically to free him. When they finally succeeded, Toves was diagnosed with a concussion that left him questionable for the next event. Toves later talked about how it all unfolded, though the concussion probably affected his memory of the details. "I didn't expect something like this would happen," he said. "When people told me they could hear the impact, I actually felt it too. It was very traumatic for me. Some folks say that's just bull riding, but for Toves, this wasn't just another wreck. It was a comprehensive lesson in bovine torture techniques." Faircloth at number 3.
Needing every point he can get.
Faircloth came into round 1 in Oklahoma City with determination. He thought he could handle whatever Crazy Days brought to the equation, but Crazy Days didn't care about any of that. The bull got Faircloth hung up after the buck-off, and that's when it turned into a medical emergency.
Up. Bullfighters doing what they can to get in there, and you see Frank, he's got the
Crazy Days dragged him around the venue like a broken toy. The bull's relentless assault continued while medical personnel prepared for the inevitable. One of those drags landed hard on his ankle.
Goes Jesse. Shorty's trying to get that bull to turn the direction and give him a chance. Jesse's on top now, getting his own bull right. How about that?
It didn't take long to confirm. Faircloth's ankle was completely broken. Faircloth didn't try to act like a hero afterward. The injury sidelined him for months. "I got unlucky with Crazy Days," he said. But yeah, things happen. That's just how it goes sometimes. One round you're confident, the next you're learning about bone fractures. Faircloth definitely got worked over. But what happened at number 4? We go back to the 2006 championship round, where Shane Proctor had one of his worst nights.
Remember, Shane Proctor had that challenge earlier because his
spur got caught.
As soon as he climbed on scene of the crash, the legendary bull came out with full destructive force. Proctor didn't stand a chance against Jerry Nelson and Tom Teague's F12 masterpiece. He lasted 2.60 seconds before scene of the crash delivered his signature demolition. The bull heaved and carried Proctor away with enough violence to change his mailing address.
Oh man, he moves out there so fast, he's so hard away from you.
Proctor flew across Oklahoma City like he'd been launched from siege equipment. The legendary bull earned his 45.00 points by creating Hollywood quality destruction in the Ford Championship round. If he had managed to stay connected longer, maybe it wouldn't have ended like that. But this is bull riding. There's no room for maybe. Where scene of the crash had directed another masterpiece of controlled devastation. That bull didn't create wrecks. He authored disaster films. Through the arena speakers, you could hear the impact echo. The scene of the crash wasn't happy about gentle dismounts, but he wasn't going to deliver them either. Not with his reputation on the line. He'll demolish riders, just not gently. Now, even though scene of the crash was already legendary, Denner Barbosa's wreck felt downright cruel at number 5.
My Buddy Taco.
I like the name of this one.
When Barbosa climbed on My Buddy Taco in Johnstown, round 2 looked promising. Everyone thought the friendly name might mean something, but then it got ugly. Barbosa lasted 3.29 seconds before getting hung up. My Buddy Taco marked 43.00 points while demonstrating that his idea of friendship involved extended torture.
You just don't see this very often at all.
Foot just accidentally caught in that flank, and you look at the work of Lucas. And
the bullfighters rushed in like their lives depended on it. They knew a hung-up rider meant catastrophe. My Buddy Taco kept spinning with a human ragdoll attached, testing everyone's nerves. When they finally freed Barbosa, he was battered and shaken. The bullfighters didn't waste a second. They knew it was serious the moment he got trapped. My Buddy Taco had served up a crash out special that nobody ordered. This buddy brings trauma instead of tacos. At number 6, had it rough when Speed Demon earned top honors in St. Louis back in 2017.
Orders last night.
Chad Berger Clayster.
He drew Speed Demon in round 2, thinking experience would see him through. Speed Demon became the high-marked bull of the round with 45.25 points for blowing Luciano off hard during those bursty first jumps. Luciano tried to match the pace, but Speed Demon operated on jet fuel.
Okay. Little Bull and Luciano de Castro kicked him on the way out.
Kicked him in the top.
The collision happened with mathematical precision. Speed Demon's kinetic energy transferred directly into Luciano's rapid departure, creating a human projectile with no landing coordinates. When Luciano reconnected with Missouri dirt, the impact shook the building's foundation. Speed Demon had earned every point of that 45.25 score. There was definitely no staying on after that ride. While Speed Demon was earning high marks, Denner Pacheco at number 7 learned that Billy Bat Scat plays hardball in Phoenix.
Here from Lazy K4 Oaks, Bucking Bulls, and
Pacheco climbed on in round 1, thinking skill could handle whatever this bull delivered. Billy Bat Scat had been practicing his swing. The bull lasted 2.60 seconds before delivering a violent forward dump that belonged in demolition training videos. Billy Bat Scat marked 42.75 points for explosive spinning followed by devastating projection.
He's been watching those BFO bulls too much. Watch this. He just wants to fight people.
Billy Bat Scat exploded out of his spin with the force of a controlled detonation. Pacheco flew like he'd been hit by a wrecking ball. Instant acceleration from riding to ballistic in under 3 seconds. And I hope it was worth it. Although that launching was brutal, Luciano de Castro at number 6 had it rough when Speed Demon earned top honors in St. Louis back in 2017.
Orders last night.
Chad Berger Clayster.
He drew Speed Demon in round 2, thinking experience would see him through. Speed Demon became the high-marked bull of the round with 45.25 points for blowing Luciano off hard during those bursty first jumps. Luciano tried to match the pace, but Speed Demon operated on jet fuel.
Okay. Little Bull and Luciano de Castro kicked him on the way out.
Kicked him in the top.
The collision happened with mathematical precision. Speed Demon's kinetic energy transferred directly into Luciano's rapid departure, creating a human projectile with no landing coordinates. When Luciano reconnected with Missouri dirt, the impact shook the building's foundation. Speed Demon had earned every point of that 45.25 score. There was definitely no staying on after that ride. While Speed Demon was earning high marks, Leandro Zampolo at number 8 discovered that Power Trip takes space travel seriously at the Ty Murray Invitational.
Blake Sharp, multiple time stock contract for the year winner.
Power Trip launched Leandro into what witnesses called the stratosphere, round 2 in Albuquerque, and this bull was ready to demonstrate his NASA-level capabilities. Leandro managed 2.16 seconds before Power Trip decided to show off his rocket science degree. The bull earned 41.25 points for what became a textbook launching wreck straight over the shoulder.
Well, look, the last 6 seconds were to build up the confidence. Oh no, to build up the confidence tank of Zampolo.
The trajectory was perfect. Leandro soared so high that air traffic control should have been notified. His flight time lasted longer than most complete rides. When gravity finally brought him back down, the landing registered on seismographs. Power Trip had successfully proven that some bulls moonlight as aerospace engineers. That bull literally launched him into the stratosphere. And while Leandro was visiting outer space, Kaique Padin Bunch at number 9 experienced pure launching power when Soul King sent him flying in St. Louis.
The number 1 man this season.
He came into round 1 with confidence. Soul King had other plans, mainly involving human ballistics and advanced physics. Bunch lasted exactly 2.53 seconds before Soul King decided the lesson was over. The bull marked 44.00 points for his performance, while Bunch got a 0 and a trip to another zip code.
And gets rocked right here at the closing moments. Yeah, look at that shot.
Soul King pitched him forward with devastating precision, then launched him clear across the venue. No gradual dismount, no chance to recover, just pure explosive force sending a human body through space like he'd been shot from a cannon. When Bunch finally hit the dirt, the impact shook the building. Soul King had delivered royal treatment that reminded everyone why some animals earn names that demand respect. Yep, that was a launching. Now that we're talking about getting launched, number 10, João Ricardo Vieira climbed on Does You Down in St. Louis, thinking round 2 would go smoothly.
His head up, and when a bull's got his head down like this,
then the gate cracked, and everything went sideways. Does You Down popped into what can only be described as a freak hoof stand, balancing on his front legs like some demented circus performer. But this wasn't entertainment. This was pure destruction waiting to happen.
So when he takes that first jump, he's a little bit lost himself, runs him right back into that chute right there. Man, that's scary.
Gosh. I mean, look.
The bull slung Vieira up with violent force, then slammed him straight into the metal fence. The impact was sickening. Vieira ended up completely inverted against the barrier, hanging in what looked like a handstand while the bullfighters rushed to clear space. It looked impossible, because it almost was. But if you think gate malfunctions are rough,